Sirtuins, also known as longevity genes, really important aspect of our longevity wheel.
Yes, they are.
So why is that?
Yeah, now when you talk about longevity, it's the most well-known of the longevity things. Oh, Sirtuins, yeah, you get it from red wine, so I can get drunk every night and live a long time. No, not exactly like that. And then, they get into talking about resveratrol and Sinclair's discovery that this mice eating resveratrol would live for a long time. Now, turns out sirtuins, when you look at the wheel, there's all this interaction between everything. But sirtuins are really, really crucial. And, they're often described as metabolic sensors sensitive to NAD levels in the cell or to the NAD-NADH ratio. And when they sense a lot of NAD in the cell, it means that the cell has resources. So the NAD is kind of a surrogate for, my God, we got everything we could ever want. And it's also saying that we're not heavily anabolic. We're not taking in a lot of carbs at the time. So NAD is really shining. And then that high NAD leads to sirtuin activation, which leads to a whole bunch of things that you've heard me refer to as metabolic clarity.
Yes, what does that mean?
Hey, good prompt there, because I made the damn word up. I should define it. And it's really like a clean, there's sort of a clean engine has all the gunk burned out of it. And then a dirty engine, it's been running and all this dirty gas and it builds up all this gunk in it. And so the clean engine, this means that we are going to activate a bunch of genes, things like PPAR alpha, which helps you burn fat as opposed to store fat. So remember, we're going into catabolism.
Yes.
Now, this used to be kind of a bad word in the 80s when everybody was like, build muscle.
Right.
But
right.
you build.
But you live
build
longer.
Yeah, that's the thing. The only way you live long is through calorie restriction.
Right.
And calorie restriction and long life is dependent on sirtuins. And that is dependent on NAD levels. So if you knock out sirtuins from an animal and you calorie restrict them, they don't live any longer. In fact, they get fatty liver, and they get atherosclerotic plaque, and they get brain issues, and they get metabolic problems. So this is metabolic clarity. We're going to burn fat. We're going to go into autophagy. We're going to burn up old things. Now, a lot of this is a crosstalk between AMPK and sirtuin. So to get the most out of it, you're in a carb restriction or a fasting while you're SIRT activating. But one of the big things you'll hear, not just sirtuins, but FOXOs are big genes, and PGC1 alpha. A lot of these, they bring up the activity of the mitochondria. So this is the most direct tie into active, healthy, and dense mitochondria. By dense mitochondria, I mean lots of different mitochondria.
Okay.
So if you look at sirtuins in different parts, like in the liver, you're burning up fatty deposits. It's anti-fatty liver. You're cholesterol scavenging. You're turning up gluconeogenesis, so you're burning up extra protein. In the white adipose tissue, you're lowering adipogenesis. You're not putting on fat, you're burning it up. In brown adipose tissue, that's where you create heat and where you got a lot of mitochondria. You increase mitochondrial activity, you increase mitochondrial biogenesis and thermogenesis. You make heat. In the pancreas, you increase insulin secretion. And in the periphery, you're increasing insulin sensitivity and decreasing insulin resistance. In the skeletal muscle, you're turning up mitochondria, you're turning up fatty acid oxidation. You're just burning and you're running clean, and you're getting more mitochondria and less crud.
Yeah. Clarity.
Clarity, hence metabolic clarity.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Anything else to know about it?
I don't know. Tell me.
Well, we might as well say, that there's all these interrelations. So there's the NAD spoke of the wheel. And NAD itself, when you have the NAD, the sirtuins start getting up and get active. And then people talk about things like resveratrol as sirtuin activators. So without the NAD, the resveratrol, really the NAD is the primary activator, and then the resveratrol takes it up another level. But if you hyperdose resveratrol, even if you don't have NAD, you'll start activating the sirtuins. And it's not that you don't have NAD, you just don't have a lot of NAD.
Okay.
And so it's going to start sucking NAD away from the mitochondria to activate these sirtuins and start into these burning programs. But most of them are for having the mitochondria become more efficient. But if there's no NAD, the mitochondria can't. So it's kind of like I have enough gas to get over to my house that's 30 miles away, and I'm going to turn on my turbocharger. I'm going to try to go 80 miles an hour. Now, the gas is only enough to get you there when you're going 40. Now you're going to run out of gas halfway through.
So it doesn't work, really.
No,
in
it
the long
doesn't.
run.
So you can't activate sirtuins separate from having enough NAD.
Right.
And then AMPK, which comes on when you're carb restricted. We have AMPK activators, but if you don't have the AMPK and the sirtuins at the same time, you're only getting half the deal.
Right.
You'll get more mitochondrial activity, but you won't get mitochondrial biogenesis, which gives you more mitochondria. So sirtuins are kind of the king of the long life program, but you need these other spokes alive and working with them.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Dr. Shade.
Thank you,
Interesting.
Mindy.